Okay, perfect. First item on our agenda is our agenda. What is your wish? Councillor Ramsay?
Yes, good morning, Mayor Wood. I would move our agenda as presented.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. I missed your hand.
Which agenda are we going off of? The one that was printed and presented to us, or the one on the web page?
Councillor Kennett, could you identify the difference, please?
The one that was printed to us goes to 8.1. The one that's on the web page goes to 8.11.
My apologies. Yes, there is a closed session identified to occur at 9:30 this morning.
Okay, well, I wish to discuss that. Quite frankly, this notice of motion that came from the agenda committee didn't have closed session. One of the members that made this motion is on that agenda committee. Why now a closed session?
Through the mayor to members of council, when we receive a notice of motion, the first time it's received, it's simply provided on the agenda. The agenda review committee's job is to ensure that there's adequate time for that item to be added. So that's what gets on the first agenda. So on August 26th, that item was accepted as an introduction of a notice of motion. The notice of motion is then automatically deferred to the next council meeting for consideration, which would be today's meeting. So it essentially automatically gets to come on today's agenda. And then it is administration's job to prepare a draft report to go with that agenda item. In this situation, administration is not directly involved in this item. So administration is ill prepared to be the ones providing advice on the item. Therefore, we've deferred to the same legal counsel that council used through the duration of the forensic audit matter, and that lawyer has asked that they be allowed to address council in a closed session as they are granted privileged information under the Access to Information Act. So that's the recommendation from the lawyer. So that is how it's appearing on the agenda today. You have the lawyer online. You can speak with him and you can provide direction at that time. Just because you go in closed doesn't mean you have to stay in closed. He can provide you information and why that was his original recommendation at that point in time. I'm not sure that he'd be comfortable to do that. But that's how we recommend that you proceed today. We are only at the approval of the agenda right now. The time and duration of that closed session is completely up to council once you get to that item.
Okay, thank you. I wanted clarity on why the change, and you provided it. Thank you.
Thank you. And remembering, we're not debating the agenda. We can talk. We're good. Okay, thank you. We have an agenda before us. Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead, sir. Put your mic on.
The original question was which agenda we're looking at, and then I heard this ramble about parts of the agenda. So the question was which agenda? I hear there was two of them. So I don't know which one I'm voting on now.
Through the mayor to members of council, we don't print for you the agenda that you see online because it prints in a little bit of a weird format. And so it's not always the easiest one to read. So we print it from a separate document, and we did not add under 8.1 a section called 8.1.1 closed session, and indicating the sections of the Access to Information Act under which the forensic audit item was received and reported on previously. It's just consistency with using those exact same clauses that you've seen before on that forensic audit item.
So for clarity, council, I think that we need to understand that we've understood the reason that we may want to be in camera. We don't have to stay there if we don't need to. But I would suggest that we, in fact, understand that we will be in camera. Let's be clear on that, which one we're. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, everyone in the gallery. So I do have a question on the process here, because I know we're approving the agenda, but I actually have some questions regarding the nature and why we are going in camera as opposed to the Access to Information Act, which are discretionary at some times. So I'd just like clarification on that, please.
is Rob out?
Through the mayor to members of council, we would like to defer that to the lawyer. As indicated before, administration has not supported this forensic audit item. This has been done externally through a private consultant that has a contract directly with council, not with administration, and through council's lawyer, Mr. Solomon, who is online today. So as administration's not involved in the item, administration is not comfortable in really supporting you and walking you through that item. So the lawyer is here today, and he's recommended to have a closed session with council. So that's simply the reason why administration is not responsible for the forensic audit item. This is council, and they're dealing directly with their contractors.
Okay, so the mover of the motion was Councillor Ramsay, and I want, as the mover, to be clear. Does your motion include an in-camera session, sir?
Yeah, I appreciate Councillor Kennett catching that, because I was going off the printed one. I am still fine with the agenda as presented. I'm hearing some questions and concern around the closed session, and I think we can have that conversation later. So I'm still fine with the agenda as presented.
Mayor Wood, if you would like new agendas printed, we're more than happy to do that for you.
Pardon me?
If you would like new agendas printed, we're more than happy to do that for you.
Is there anyone that requires that agenda, or are we clear it be the same one that we saw online? Fair enough. It's clear for all members that will be voting. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor? Those opposed? Councillor Moore is opposed. The remainder is in favor. Motion has been carried. So I want to make sure I record this. Thank you. Continuing on to the minutes, we have two sets of minutes today. The first one is item number 3.1. That will be our July 21st special council meeting minutes. What is your wish on those minutes, Councillor Massey?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. I reviewed the minutes from the July 21st special council meeting and will move them as presented.
Any discussion on those minutes? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Motion has been carried unanimously. We'll now deal with the item number 3.2 on our agenda. That will be the August 26th council meeting minutes. What is your wish? Councillor Kennett?
Yeah, thank you. I didn't see any errors or omissions, so I'd move it as presented.
Any discussion on those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's carried unanimously. Continuing on, so we have at 9:30, we're now past that time frame. We have item number 8.1, 9:30 notice of motion from Councillor Ramsay. Councillor Ramsay, at some point in time, I believe that we would need to go in camera for this. Go ahead, sir, you start.
Okay. Yeah, I can reiterate the background and the motion. So on July 21st at the special meeting of council, we passed the following motion to receive KPMG's forensic audit report for information under the Access to Information Act, and that motion was listed in the report. The report found that the allegations of corruption were not substantiated. However, there were some deficiencies found in regard to patterns of non-compliance with internal procurement policies and procedures. It is important for council to recognize that administration has addressed some of the issues, while others are in progress and some still need to be resolved. With this report costing approximately $800,000, Red Deer County residents deserve more than a brief one-time statement. It is also imperative that the public and industry have trust in Red Deer County's procurement process. In order to restore that trust, an update from administration is required regarding our procurement policies and procedures and how our municipality is working towards greater accountability, transparency, and compliance monitoring. So my motion would be that Red Deer County Council direct administration to create an action and implementation plan. The document should address all of the deficiencies identified in KPMG's forensic audit report and identify how each deficiency has been or is proposed to be addressed, including the estimated resource requirements. It should also include a reporting schedule to update council on the progress. The action and implementation plan is to be presented at the November 12th, 2025 council meeting for discussion and further direction from council.
Thank you. Councillor. Before we get into too much, we at some point we'll go to in camera, but and I do have a question on process as well. So if you go ahead first.
Thanks, Mayor Wood. So I do have a couple of questions and comments. I'm wondering about the if this motion is redundant and somewhat pointless, because in the public statement the council issued on July 21st, that I didn't support actually, it actually says that the CAO would work towards a better path forward with council. So to me, nothing has changed. I think the mover voted in favour of this, and it's already been said. So I'm a little bit confused. I guess that's my question.
Mayor Wood, we would recommend that you defer to legal counsel. As it's standard in these items, the councillor is responsible for presenting their notice of motion, and then administration is also responsible for providing some information. As stated before, in this situation, administration is not responsible for this item. Therefore, council defers to their own consultants. And so we would recommend that you have the opportunity to hear that sort of administrative perspective from legal counsel related to this item before you enter into debate.
Thank you. Councillor Holzman.
I would move that we go into closed session as per the designation of the Freedom of Information and Privacy Act as listed at 9:42.
Councillor Massier.
Yeah, I thought long and hard on this one. I thought the notice of motion that was put forward to us was pretty clear on the statement that we released after the audit. And I don't understand why we need to go into closed session to discuss the thing that's already become public with regards to transparency. But after listening to some of council talk about how they voted and how we voted and what we stood for and I didn't and I did, I thought we were a council that stood behind our decisions. And for that reason, we need to go in closed session. And so I will support going into closed session to discuss this item, because what I'm hearing in this chamber sounds like grandstanding. So I will support going into closed session with regards to the notice of motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Other discussion? All those in favor of going in camera? Opposed to going in camera? Okay, so we have three, Councillor Moore, Councillor Ramsay, and Councillor Kennett opposed. The remainder were in favor. If I saw the hands correctly, the motion has been carried. We will now go into closed session. I just want to record the vote. Okay. For administration, Councillor Ramsay made a motion at 10:31 to come out of camera. That was carried unanimously. We then went into recess until this point. So we're back on to item number, the notice of motion from Councillor Ramsay. Councillor Ramsay, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. Yeah, and I guess to speak to my motion now, you know, I really feel this is kind of being made into something it's not. I thought it was pretty clear and simple, and you know, I don't think I'm asking for anything that's going to jeopardize the work that we've already done. You know, following our meeting on July 21st, the public had a lot of questions around the report and what would happen next. They're frustrated. I don't blame them. You know, council invested a lot into this, and looking back, I felt maybe we should have structured it a bit differently from the beginning, but we can't keep going back. To me, this was about trying to find a way forward, and you know, I think it's very positive. The allegations of corruption and fraud were not substantiated, and you know, there were some deficiencies found, and we can work through those, and it's going to give us a better process in the end. But unfortunately, this council has run out of time to do the work, and I was given no indication that administration would have the time to fit anything in prior to the election. You know, and a notice of motion wouldn't typically be my first choice to find a solution, but however, given our meeting schedule over the summer, this was the best way forward, and I submitted it at the earliest possible opportunity. To me, this is a positive approach that ensures whoever the next council is will get this report, and they'll be able to continue and complete the work. And you know, it's already been stated that they're going to have to address this in some of the policy one way or another. So why not formalize this process in working with our administration? You know, to me, it's very simple. We create a public report highlighting the deficiencies from our summary statement. And, you know, I think working through that, it could be identified what policies and procedures relate to those, and how we could find a path to look at those and dive into them. And I think the more we formalize that process and have it out in the open, the more we can rebuild the public and industry trust. You know, I think that was the indication we gave the public in our statement, and to me, this is the next step in that process. And I don't like just leaving it sit, hoping that after the election something is going to happen. To me, this brings this formality to it, and assures the public that we will be moving forward with something. So, you know, I think it opens the door for that conversation, and so that's my motion.
Thank you. So we've heard the motion and comments. I just want to double check make sure that we're following our procedures by law, and may need some help from Ms. Rodwell on this. Previously, council had made a motion to say that it was going to be our last statement, and to have and you know, kind of summarizing, to work with administration on a path going forward. Does this deviate from the original motion? Do we need a motion to reconsider, I guess is where my question arises. This is quite technical.
Through the CEO to council, I'm not sure if I should comment on that, as I was not present for the in-camera session, so I'm not sure what legal advice has been provided at this point in time, and I wouldn't want to contradict your lawyer's opinion.
Okay. This motion seems to contradict the other one. No, it doesn't. Okay, everyone has a different opinion on it. We'll continue on. I want to hear from everyone. Continue on. Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. So I got quite a few comments on this, so I beg your indulgence. I think the timing is really interesting for this notice of motion. It is our last council meeting, and the mover has had 6 weeks to bring this forward. It's interesting that on July 21st, he supported the public statement that was to keep everything, let's say, in solicitor and client privilege. And he felt at that time there was no need to discuss further. So as I say, timing is everything here. Regarding his motion, I would say that it's redundant and it's pointless. We already have embodied in the statement that Council voted on July 21st, that a positive path forward would be sought with the CAO and Council. So I'm not saying what's different in this motion. When we talk about the next Council, this Council has no authority over the next Council. So I think it's unrealistic and somewhat, it's almost cheeky really, to put this Council's views on the next people.
Please be careful with your language.
Okay.
We have to be respectful.
Okay, thank you. So in my opinion, this is work for the next Council if they choose to review and readdress this audit. For those reasons, I cannot support Councillor Ramsay's motion, as it is actually a duplication of what he voted for on July 21st. Thank you.
Comments, Councillor Messier?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. It was an interesting notice of motion put forward. We did go in camera and discuss some things with legal. I have the full confidence that when we released our statement July 21st saying we'll work with the CAO, that we did so, we have been, and will continue to do so. So to formalize more direction, to me, that's administration's job, not ours to tell them how to do their job. So I'm fully satisfied that the July 21st motion is being carried out, and there's no need to give administration further direction. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Holzman?
Thank you. I do appreciate that we had some legal advice this morning, and I do think the notice of motion was put forward, from what I'm hearing from Mr. Ramsay, in good faith, just to try to keep it out there for the next Council. However, the timing is awkward because it is our last meeting, and quite frankly, it is still, what would you call it, silly season, where everybody's out campaigning and everything else, and I don't think that is what Mr. Ramsay meant at all. I think he just wanted to keep it on the table so that it was front and foremost, because even though I'm not running again, I still have people asking me what's going to happen after the election. So I think it was done in good faith. However, from hearing from the legal report, I do believe that it is up to the next Council, and maybe can be a strategic priority when they go into strategic planning in late November. But at this time, we've run out of time, and I do hope that all the candidates that are running for good things for the county and in good faith, and it isn't posturing. Thank you.
Councillor Palm?
So thanks. So as the motion is put forward, I can't support it as is. As others have stated, it was already stated on the July 21st statement. And at this point, this is our last council meeting. We cannot direct the next council on what they should be doing or not doing, and direct administration to do certain things for the next council, as this is our last council meeting. So for those reasons, I can't support this motion at this time. And going forward, we've already had some implementation of some, new software that was already come up. And, so that's a huge implementation going forward. And it's up to the next council to make their plan of what they're going to do. And I would hope that it would still, be addressed and looked at going forward, and always be looked at and updated as time goes on. So right at this time, I cannot support this notice of motion.
Councillor Kennett?
Yeah, I cannot support this motion as presented. As our legal counsel said, there's problems. I was glad to hear from the legal counsel that it's council's report, whether it's this council or another one. That means this issue is not dying here on this motion. The statement that was put out was very clear, had very good points in it. There may have been some vague points, but it was not intentional. I think this motion, if it passed, would direct administration in a way that they cannot do. It would put them in the position of if something was missed because they do not have access to the final report, they could be blamed possibly. And I think that's not a good place to put administration. So for that and several reasons stated by my colleagues, I cannot support this.
Hey, before you close, Councillor Ramsay, on your motion, yeah, it sounds pretty similar from everyone that has spoke. I believe that we had a good motion put forward earlier that identified to continue to work with the CAO to and I don't have the exact wording, to get through this process and to have a successful process. I have seen no indication that that's not happening. We've already given direction. We've given direction. Council has to our CEO on those items. And I don't know why we need to do something different. I'm concerned of the wording of the motion. I'm concerned. This is a very, very important matter that went back for a long time, as was already identified. We need a path going forward, and I've seen no indication that our CEO is not going to do that. And I can't support your motion at this time. I don't see anything positive that's better than what we've already put out there. Thank you. Councillor Ramsay, you can close.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Wood. And I guess, looking at the timing of this, I understand it's up against the election, and that's why I went to the notice of motion. When we started this process, no one was thinking we were going to be at this point now. We had our special meeting July 21st. We had a council meeting July 22nd. Our next council meeting after that was August 26th when I introduced this notice of motion to council. So as I stated, this was the earliest possible opportunity. and really, like, this is not an attack on our administration. I'm not trying to put them in a bad position. I'm trying to find a positive way forward on this that actually ensures, that work will be done given the interruption of the election. I don't see this as dictating to the next council. This is presenting a plan to the next council, and they can amend or choose how they want to go forward with it from there, or scrap it completely. But I've also heard that council direction is needed to move this forward. So that there's so much contradictory in this whole issue, and to me that goes back to not setting ourselves up for success. And that's something we have to own and try and move this forward positively. And that's what I was trying to do, and bring a real solution that's not relying on campaign promises to get this looked at.
We've had opportunity for debate. on your motion. We have a motion on the floor from Councillor Ramsay. It was very clear. All those in favor of his motion? All those opposed to the motion? Let the record show that Councillor Ramsay was in favor. The remainder were opposed. The motion has been defeated. Continuing on to the next item on our agenda, that is item number 5.1. Good morning, Mr. McIntosh. We're going to talk about agriculture plastics recycling today. And how are you, sir?
I'm good. Good morning, Mayor and Council. And through the CEO, I'd like to present a request for decision on agricultural plastics recycling, our bale wrap and silage plastic film. So would Council please consider a request from the Ag Services Board to review the bale wrap and silage plastic film recycling projects and determine if and how Red Deer County should participate in a local collection program. A little bit of the background, I will summarize this. March 13th, 2025, the Agricultural Service Board passed the following resolution. Moved by member A. Amateur that the ASB recommend to County Council to approve alternative 5.1. Pursue a partnership agreement with neighboring municipalities to bring a silage and bale plastic collection program to Central Alberta, committing staff time and equipment to operate within Red Deer County. Furthermore, while exploring the intention of cost recovery. More history on this. In September of 2024, our Ag Service Board received a presentation from Davin Johnson of Clean Farms, highlighting a pilot project that happened in southern Alberta, which was concluded in March of 2024. They utilized a compactor and a farm-to-farm service that producers had signed up for, where silage, plastic and bale wrap was collected on farm. This was done so under funding from the Canadian Agricultural Strategic Priorities Program. And after seeing this a presentation, our Red Deer County Ag Service Board wanted to see what the need in Red Deer County was like, so we conducted a survey. That survey indicated that we had about 30 farms and ranches in Red Deer County that would be interested in a local silage plastic program, representing over 1,400 kilograms of material to be recovered on a monthly basis. The survey also indicated there could be more than 30 farms and ranches interested in participating in local collection of plastic bale wrap that would total another 1,200 kilograms of material per monthly collection. About half of the respondents indicated that they would be willing to pay a fee for this on-farm collection service in the range of about $10 to $50 a month. And also 33 of the 40 respondents would also be willing to drop off their plastic at a local collection site. Many of you will know that Lacombe County, Ponoka County, and Red Deer County already partner to provide agricultural plastic collection to reduce on-farm storage of and disposal of plastic grain bags. Lacombe County administers the program in all three municipalities, while Red Deer and Lacombe counties Red Deer and Ponoka compensate Lacombe for the services provided in our respective municipalities. The material is rolled and stored at the Prentice landfill station until it can be picked up by Clean Farms, and then it is shipped to recyclers. This grain bag recycling project operates under an agreement that does expire at the end of the year, December 21st, 2025. You may have also seen that recently the provincial government has initiated a survey for stakeholders to provide input on how a regulatory approach could be used to manage agricultural plastic waste. Some of you may have completed the survey. What I found interesting is the survey did provide some timelines on when these plastic streams may come into a provincial program, and it is indicating that phase 2 bale wrap and silage plastic wrap is potentially a provincial initiative in 2030. This also should also be mentioned that this is part of the extended producer responsibility legislation framework that is being implemented, that has been initiated in April of 2025. Clean Farms is looking for municipal partners to assist in the on-farm collection of these materials. Clean Farms is offering to donate their custom-built compactor trailer to our municipality to facilitate a Central Alberta collection. We would be seeking to complete promotions and marketing to create awareness about this process and encourage on-farm pickup. And there is potential for additional municipalities to share this compactor, as it would only be required in each municipality for a few days a week, or for a few days every 2 to 4 months. This extended producer responsibility has shifted in some plastic streams. You may remember that pesticide container jugs were collected through the municipalities for approximately 20 years, and just this past year, many sites are now being run by the retailers. Municipalities are not hosting and not collecting the plastic pesticide jugs. It's gone back to retailers. So municipalities played a large role in facilitating this collection. It's anticipated that the next streams of provincial pickup will be a little sooner. It shouldn't take 20 years of the municipalities collecting these streams. Looking further into the financial implications, we estimate the program cost would be low, as the specialized equipment would be donated by Clean Farms and shared between the project partners. Individual municipalities would need to contribute some vehicle and equipment time to complete the local pickups. Initial estimates would require 2 staff and a medium-duty truck for a couple of days every 2 to 4 months, at an estimated cost of about $4,000 to $5,000 per year. And the Red Deer County Ag Plastics Survey did indicate that some producers would be willing to pay a fee for this pickup service, which could cover some or all of the municipal costs. So alternatives as we see them is to pursue a pilot project with Clean Farms and other potentially neighboring municipalities to bring silage and bale plastic collection program to Central Alberta, committing some staff time and equipment to operate within Red Deer County. Another alternative would be to not commit any municipal resources, but encourage Clean Farms to operate a province-wide collection program. Another alternative would be investigate other collection methods, or potentially not to proceed with any silage or bale wrap collection at this time. To summarize, the Tri-County Agricultural Plastics Project was initiated in 2018 to assist local farmers and ranchers in recycling plastic grain bags that were being disposed of in the landfill. By partnering together, municipal resources are used more effectively, which lowers the cost of handling and recycling these materials. Silage film and bale wrap are another stream of agricultural plastic that can be recycled if it can be collected and transported effectively to a recycler. EPR legislation is putting the burden of recycling back onto the plastic producers and retailers, but it will likely be another 3 to 5 years before there is any provincially regulated collection system. At this time, municipalities can work with stewardship groups like Clean Farms to develop systems that collect these products and ship them to recyclers to fill the gap before EPR legislation requires it. Agricultural producers have been asking municipalities for assistance in recycling this waste product, and Red Deer County has stepped up by supporting pesticide container, agricultural twine, and grain bag collection. This is a next step. This is a possible next step in ag plastic collections. Admin recommendation at this time is to pursue alternative 5.1, pursue a pilot project with Clean Farms and potentially neighboring municipalities to bring a silage and bale plastic collection program to Central Alberta, committing some staff time and equipment to operate within Red Deer County. This alternative would be considered a service level change and would require an approval of council to allocate additional staff time and funding. That's all I have to present. I'll take any questions at this time.
Thanks for your report. Councillor Moore, do you have any questions? No. Councillor Master? Councillor Holzman? Councillor DePalm? No. Councillor Kennett?
Yeah, thank you. In 5.1, you talk about a pilot project, but you don't really have a time frame on it. What kind of a time frame do you think would be acceptable to say success or not a success?
Mr. McIntosh?
Sure, through the CAO, and to answer the question, it's a little bit open-ended given we're hoping that this transition to a provincial program in 3 to 5 years. We're seeing an estimated timeline of a provincial regulation in January of 2030. I would hope it's in line with that, but we also know that the grain bag collection is one of the first streams that came on. We've been doing this for 7 years now. We thought it would probably be about the same, 3 to 5 years before it bridges to a provincial. It's been 7, and it looks like it's going to be probably 3 more before it meets this timeline that they've suggested. So I think our initial agreement, our Tri-County agreement, was a 3-year pilot project. So something in 3 years, we would look at it again in that time. Maybe an extension, maybe we would have a better understanding on a provincial timeline.
Okay. And just to be clear, we're talking bale plastic and silage plastic, not the net wrap portion.
Not net wrap, correct. Net wrap, as mentioned, is the last stream. It's the most challenging to handle, and I think they've got a lot of answers before they can figure that solution.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Ramsay, questions or a motion?
Yeah, I have a question, and I would certainly be willing to make a motion, Mr. Mayor. As far as your recommendation, would some element of cost recovery be explored in that conversation with our partners?
Yeah, through the CAO to answer the question, I think that is on the table. I would love to hear any discussion on that or any advice. Seems like producers are willing to pay something for it. Right now, there is a cost associated if they've got to haul it off to the landfill. This is a service that we're coming on farm to do this pickup. It's solving a need for them, so I think there's value in that. Given that the cost is very reasonable with labor and equipment that we would already have, I think we'd be looking at a cost recovery in that range of a $10 to $50 per month subscription, maybe based on the amount of volume that you're producing, and then it could really recover all of the costs.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I would certainly move alternative 5.1 that we pursue a pilot project with Clean Farms and our neighboring municipalities to bring a silage and bale plastic collection program to Central Alberta, committing some staff time and equipment to operate within Red Deer County. And I liked the answer to my question, because if not, I was going to add the looking at cost recovery piece. This certainly is needed, and for the members that have been on ASB, we've been working through this, so it's not really super new to us. We did the survey, and producers are willing to pay a fee for this service. For myself, with our bale wrap, we got to throw it in the dumpster right now. That's our only solution, and that's like $80 a month. So if we fill up our dumpster, then we got to do something with their garbage. So I totally see people willing to pay, or if they have to bring it to a collection site, then maybe we look at some different things. But that's all what's going to be ironed out in the process. We've had a really good relationship with our Tri-County partners, and the ASB has worked hard on kind of seeing if we can expand this service to the plastics that are more heavily used and needed. And it's very optimistic that it just recently come out that they're looking at extending this to EPR. I think that's the ultimate solution in the end, but I think, as it's mentioned, that's a ways away, and we need to fill that gap in the meantime. So fully supportive.
Thank you. Discussion? Further discussion? Go around. Councillor Moore.
Thanks, Mayor Wood. I definitely support Councillor Ramsay's motion today. A couple of things I really like. So first of all, Mr. McIntosh, thanks for the report. It's interesting about the EPR. It is a little bit later than we anticipated, as we thought a few years ago. So I'm glad we're being proactive. I love the collaboration with the municipalities and, example, sharing the use of the compactor, etc. I think it resonates and it's very responsive to what our producers would like. And this pilot will give us a good indication of interest and will spread the word, so more people will hopefully, more producers will join in. I think it's future focused. I think it's responsible, responsive, and a win-win. Thank you.
Councillor Master.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Fully supportive of this. Once again, Red Deer County Ag Service Board, leaders in the industry. I remember when farmers used to reuse tin pesticide jugs for many uses. And I remember when sometimes farmers had trouble getting rid of their plastic pesticide containers. It takes leadership to recycle. We're leaders in recycling of batteries in pop bottles. We now no longer have to be responsible for the chemical jugs because industry does it. That is the future. But let's not wait for the future. Let's get on it right now. Again, be leaders. You talk about the Tri-County Partnership, the partnership with Clean Farms. In my local farm magazine, a headline, Ag Plastic Recycling Group encourages farmers to recycle. And so it's in the education. They're taking the twines, fully supportive of moving forward. I hope it's not more than 5 years, but if, who knows, we really show the province on how to do it properly. Maybe there'll be some revenue to be made by taking this stuff out of the landfill and recycling it properly. So great job, fully supportive of the motion.
Councillor Holzman.
Thank you for the report. Totally supportive of this. I know I sat as chair on the Ag Service Board for many years. We've talked about this, so I commend, I think it's Councillor Ramsay is the chair of the Ag Service Board, and the other members, Councillor Kennett and Councillor DePalm. I know this has been an ongoing subject, and a lot of the producers will be looking for this. So I totally concur that most of them would pay a minimal fee, because I'm with Mr. Ramsay on that. Our plastic has to go in the dumpster as well, and it is $80 a month. So I totally supportive of this, and the collaboration really impresses me. So good job for everybody that was involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor DePalm.
Thanks for the report and everything. I think it's great. I definitely will support it. Silage wrap is a major pain. You see it all blown all over and hooked on fences and all over the place, right? If you're not putting it away somewhere already. So I do look forward to it, to our producers actually paying some of the cost to help do this. And, you know, once this is started and goes out to all the producers in the area, I think you'll get a bigger uptake on this as well, and maybe location where they can bring it if they don't have as much as the other bigger producers. So yeah, I'm definitely on board, and I think it's a great thing. Thanks.
Councillor Kennett.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely in support of this. You know, bale and silage wrap is, it's almost turned into a scourge. It's so great to save feed quality of the bales and the silage, but yeah, the end user plastic hasn't been dealt with. I'm glad to see that the province is looking at it at least. I wish they'd include net wrap in that, because I think it's a bigger problem really than this, but yeah, and fully supportive of this, and I think the cost recovery as well. I think if it's done right, producers will really like this, so thank you very much.
I haven't said on yet. You know, this is cost effective. It's a cost effective and environmentally responsible solution. You know, all this wrap, it either got into a landfill, or who knows, maybe some people burn it, and who knows what was happening with it. And so I agree 100% that this has been a long time coming. I want to thank our Ag Service Board for the good work, and our members of staff working together, not just with ourselves but with the other partners as well. You know, I can't believe how cheap it is, honestly. You know, we talk about recovering. I mean, what are we looking at? Up to $5,000 per year for keeping all of this plastic out of a landfill or smoke in the air. So thank you very much. Councillor Ramsay, you want to close? All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Continuing on, next item is number 5.2, the Southwest of 1539-27-4 Offsite Levies, request to defer. Good morning, Ms. McLaughlin.
Good morning. I'm bringing forward to you a request for decision to defer some offsite levies that are owing on the Southwest 1539-27 west of the 4th, and it is for a recently approved addition to a single detached dwelling. So this application is located in the Central Park neighborhood, about 1.5 kilometers north of the city of Red Deer, and it is accessed from an internal subdivision road. On July 31st, I did approve a development permit application to construct an 87 square meter addition, which is an attached garage to an existing single detached dwelling. And as a condition of that approval, the applicant is required to pay the Central Park offsite levy and transportation contribution. The offsite levies owing for the subject parcel are $5,415.62, and the applicant is requesting the deferral because of the scale of the development being minor in nature. So when we look at the Central Park offsite levy bylaw, the discretion to defer is at the sole discretion of council to waive all or any portion of the levies required to be paid pursuant to the bylaw. In more recent bylaws, offsite levy bylaws, excluding payments of offsite levies where the proposed development is a minor improvement is included as a policy statement. It is not included in this bylaw because it is from 2001. So administration is recommending that council grant approval to defer the payment of the offsite levies as per alternatives 4A in the report. Thank you.
Thank you for the report. Are there any questions of the report? Councillor Massier?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. I know over the years, the intent of the offsite levies has changed, but I'm trying to go back to the turn of the century or whenever the Central Park one came into effect. Oh, I guess it was still in the 2000s. But it does state that offsite levies are required for schools and parks, environmental reserves, and maintenance of roads and things like that. My question, Mr. Mayor, does administration feel that this area is in the need of schools and parks and the repair or replacement of roads? So the intent was to provide these services. Is there still a need for those services in this area? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. McLaughlin?
Through the CAO to members of council, the specific offsite levy bylaw for Central Park is road contributions only. So there's no schools, there's none of those other items which would typically be contributed for offsite. So it's just road upgrades.
So if I may, Mr. Mayor, can I ask for some clarity on 2.0 sub B in the report? Or am I reading it wrong, backwards? Oh, the areas for schools aren't charged. Is that what that statement?
We'll just give them a moment to respond. And if we need a recess, we can do so.
Maybe I'm misreading that it's not for those purposes. That's the area described.
Through the CAO to members of MPC, it's not those areas. So the total benefiting area excludes those areas as being benefiting. That's what 2B.
Okay, it's not saying that's what they're for.
That is not what they are for. It's an area excluded from the benefiting area of the BIA.
My apologies for not understanding the report, but clarity helps me a lot. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
No problem. We're on questions. Councillor Holzman, Councillor DePalm, Councillor Kennett, Councillor Ramsay, Councillor Moore. This is your area. You have a question? If not, please let's look for a motion.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. So yes, we have seen the likes of this quite often. So with that, I would move that council grant approval to defer payments of the offsite levies as per alternatives in 4.0A. As presented. Thank you.
Is there any debate? Councillor Ramsay?
I'll refine my question a little tighter then. Is there a need for roads in this area that the offsite levies would help support? Since that's what they're not.
Ms. Miller?
So through the CAO to mayor and council, this offsite levy bylaw is very specific. So I just have it up here. And the description of the capital costs that we're collecting is for C&E trail upgrade Township 391 Central Park Road, traffic lights at 2A and 391 intersection, traffic calming, C&E Trail South, and then engineering and contingencies, and then a future traffic study, which was a nominal fee of $15,000. It's very specific, and then it works out to $13,234 per hectare or $5,362 per acre.
And so I heard you say there was specific roads that needed this funds. Is there a reason why we don't want the money to make these improvements that the intent was for?
Ms. Miller?
So through the CAO to mayor and council, an applicant does have the right to make the request in accordance with the offsite levy bylaw to waive. When we reviewed this request and provided a recommendation, it was based on what type of improvement they're looking to do. And other offsite levy bylaws do have that minor improvements clause added. We haven't updated this one since 2001. There are other opportunities to collect. If they came in with a home business, they could certainly make the request again, but it is very unlikely that we would support that administratively. But it is solely council's decision whether or not you defer it to a future application or require it now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Holzman? Councillor DePalm? Anybody else? No. I haven't spoke on this one. You know what? I've watched many of these come through over time, and we have to make sure that we're fair, that we don't stop development in our region. These offsites were put in place to identify major, not minor improvements. This is considered minor. It would be considered minor in any other area structure plan. This was an old plan. We have deferred pertinent every single one of these that I can remember over a long period of time. To not defer this one would treat this applicant unfairly. And Councillor Moore, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mayor Wood. I think you took the words out of my mouth. This is something that we've been doing, and it is regarded as a minor improvement. And I'm hoping council will support this. Thanks.
All those in favour? Opposed? Councillor Mastery opposed. Remainder were in favour. The motion has been carried. I'm just going to note this one. Okay, continuing on to the southwest of 29, 3727, west of the 4th, roadway naming Liberty Landing Phase 3A. Is it 3A? Good morning. You have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. The purpose of this is for a request for a decision to consider the name of a new proposed road that will be located in Liberty Landing 3A, which is within the southwest 29, 37, 27 west of the 4. The land and where this road would be located is in Liberty Landing, which is a residential subdivision in the hamlet of Gasoline Alley. Phase 3A of this development was approved by Municipal Planning Commission on July 29th, 2025. The developer is proposing to name the new road Landon Road. That would be after a Red Deer area resident that was supported by CHAMP, which is the War Amp Child Amputee Program. In accordance with the subdivision and roadway naming policy for roadways, names shall not be duplicated or similar sounding phonetically. to other roadways within Red Deer County or adjacent municipalities. This road name was referred out to all adjacent municipalities and municipalities that are encompassed within Red Deer County, and there are no occurrences of a Landon Road. Also, according to the policy, names of persons of honor, community importance, historical significance in Red Deer County would be deemed appropriate. Recognitions of persons doesn't have to be restricted to just county residents. However, it could be of significance provincially, nationally, or internationally. The policy also indicates names shall be determined and applied in accordance with the specific regulations and guidelines in the policy, and final approval of roadway names should be granted by county council. The applicant would be responsible to install the street signs at their cost. Staff recommendation would be to approve the new road name of Landon Road in Liberty Landing Phase 3A, located in the hamlet of Gasoline Alley within the Southwest 293727 west of the Thar.
Great report, Ms. Dwyer. We'll start with Councillor. No, Councillor Moore. Councillor. No questions. Councillor Kennett, would you like to make a motion? Is your area?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I move that we approve the request to name the new road Landon Road, located in Liberty Landing within the Southwest 293727 W4. Quite frankly, this is a great way to pick a name. It's got good significance, great area as well, and hopefully they can get the signs before the houses are built, because I think they're almost there. Thank you.
Debate. Councillor Moore.
I'd just like to speak in support of the motion. I think this is a great tribute to the wonderful work that the War Amps child amputee program does. And I think it just, in my area, there's certain roads that are named for a certain reason, and it really brings that to mind. And it's a very respectful way to remember the good work. Thanks.
Councillor Massier, Wolfman, anybody else? So I just have a question on this, because I get looking at the cost. And typically, this is a new area. Would typically the developer in this area pay for all signs in any event?
That would be correct.
Okay, so there's no change in cost. Okay, no. I just wanted to ensure that we weren't dinging a cost to a child amputee problem. Okay, making sure of that. All those in favor? That's unanimous.
One more, boss.
We got a development application here.
First reading.
Okay. Go ahead if you want to start.
Thank you. This application is to consider granting first reading to bylaw number 1002/2025-H to redesignate around 24.6 hectares from Direct Control District number 9 to Manufactured Home District R8 on part of the Southwest 323727 west of the 4th, and also to set a public hearing date for November 12th, 2025. So this parcel is located approximately 1 kilometer southwest of the city of Red Deer. It's east of Highway 2A, north of Lantern Street, and west of Township Road 375. And the parcel will be accessed from Township Road 375. The surrounding land uses include open spaces to the immediate north and south, a few acreages, a concrete manufacturing business buffered by undeveloped land, and then agricultural uses across Highway 2A. The parcel was formerly used as a sand and gravel operation. The intent is to redesignate the area from Direct Control District number 9 to R8 to facilitate the development of a manufactured home park. This is identified by the applicants as a perceived need for a manufactured home park stalls in the Gasoline Alley West area. And it's estimated that at full build out, there would be approximately 267 units, with 83 being developed within the first phase. So it is a phased development. The subject parcel is subject to a number of statutory plans, the first being the Waskesiu Local Area Structure Plan. In the Waskesiu plan, it is indicated as a future manufactured or single detached home area, as shown on figure 8. So this redesignation application is in compliance with that area structure plan. And it is also located within the hamlet of Gasoline Alley and within the Red Deer County and City of Red Deer Intermunicipal Development Plan, and is identified as county growth area. As part of the application, we will go through the usual procedures for advertising this and advertising for the public hearing. They will be provided in the county news and online, as well as adjacent landowners will be contacted. So we are recommending that council grant first reading to bylaw 1002/2025H and set a public hearing date for November 12th as per alternatives 4A. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Questions? Looking for a motion. Councillor Kennett.
Thank you very much. I would move that we grant first reading to bylaw number 1002/2025-H and set the public hearing date for November 12th, 2025 as per 4.0A.
Any discussion? Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Elwood. Happy to see this and it's being considered. Affordable housing is a great need in this region and in Red Deer County. So I look forward to the process and the public hearing. Thank you.
Any others? You want to close? No. All those in favor? It's carried unanimously. Okay, we're down to adjournment right now? Mm-hmm. Okay, before we adjourn, this is our very last scheduled council meeting for Red Deer County for this term. I just wanted to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge all of the members of council through this last term and what we've accomplished. I'd like to acknowledge your administration. We've done a great job. I just want to say that right off the bat. And some of us are retiring, and some of us have said that they are. I want to thank everyone that's retiring for your hard work of service, and to each and every one of you that are putting your name forward. It takes courage to put your name forward onto a ballot, and I wish you successful campaigns. Only one person wins each one, but it's an important part of our process each 4 years. And I just wanted to say it's been an honor and a privilege to sit in this chair. The last 21 years have flipped by real fast, and I just want to thank each one of you for working with me through that time frame, and I'm on to the next chapter. So we need a motion to adjourn. Councillor DePalm.
So I'll move to adjourn at 11:33.
All those in favor? It's carried unanimously. Thank you. So we have a small GPC agenda, and I know that everyone